Oh hey, let's quickly talk about a little bit about your research project. First off, we need to talk about the difference between our modes of thought whenever we're performing research. And there's two main areas of thought here. You have inductive and deductive reasoning. So we're going to propose the questions. 1, what is inductive research? 2, what is deductive research? We're going to ask what is the difference between those, and we'll provide some examples. Alright, so let's start off with inductive research. So inductive research begins with observations, and the scientist is looking for patterns in the data that might help explain what all the data means. The observations may develop into a hypothesis based upon those observations, and then the hypothesis is then tested against all variables to see if it holds up. If it holds up, then a theory is proposed and can be tested further. Inductive research is often referred to as bottom-up research because you're taking detailed facts and you're forming a generalized conclusion. Alright, so we're going to start off here again. So it begins with observation. Alright, so observation starts off. Then your observations form a pattern. And you try to develop what that pattern means, and then you generate a hypothesis based upon that pattern. Then you test your hypothesis and you come up with a generalized theory that encompasses, that your hypothesis is correct. Bottom up again, because you're taking details and you're building on those to form a generalized theory at the top. Observation, pattern, hypothesis, test, theory. Alright, so now let's look at an example of a inductive research. So I'm going to give you an example. Say that you notice that your favorite movie that you decide to binge watch on TV on your favorite internet video streaming service, iNet Movie TV. Every night at 7 p.m., the streaming service goes down. Right? One night, you are over at your friend's house across the street watching iNet Movie TV, and the streaming service goes down. You think to yourself, okay, every night, 7 o'clock at my house, iNet Movie TV goes down. I'm over at my friend's house. I bet you it's 7 o'clock. You take a look at your watch, and you find out it is exactly 7 p.m. You propose the theory that iNet Movie TV goes down everywhere at the same time, every night. So with this example, you start with very detailed facts. Alright, so we're going to break this down. So the facts are 1, iNet Movie TV, okay, plus 2, service down, plus 3, 7 p.m. Alright, so you know that there is this relationship between iNet Movie TV, 7 p.m., and service down. And it goes to find out that every night on iNet Movie TV at 7 p.m., service goes down. Right? So you made this relationship. Now, you make a hypothesis. Alright, so you're over at your friend's house and you're watching TV, service goes down. So you think to yourself, okay, this is what I've always thought happened at my house. Let's look at the clock and see if it is in fact 7 p.m. and if it is, then maybe I've got something here. So you look at your clock and it is exactly 7 p.m. So you propose the theory that iNet Movie TV goes down everywhere at the same time every night. So there you go. You've got a pattern, you formed a hypothesis, you made a conclusion, and you proposed a theory. All right. So again, it goes in the framework. You start off with your observation, your pattern, your hypothesis, your experiment, and your theory. All right, in that order. Let's look at deductive research. So deductive research begins with a proposed theory. So you're starting off with a theory, and you're breaking down that theory, okay, which is going to allow you to generate a hypothesis. You're going to break it down into all of its parts and see if all of its parts hold true. So this is deductive research because you are starting with a theory, you're breaking down that theory into its individual parts, you're testing your hypothesis, and then you're going to make a conclusion. All right? So deductive reasoning or research is often referred to as top-down research because you start at the top with your theory and you're breaking it down. You're breaking down your theory. All right? So you're going from top down. Whereas with inductive research, you started off with the details and you were building up to form a theory, right? You were building onto those details to form a conclusion. So that's called bottom up. Deductive, top down. Okay? Let's give an example. Alright, so deductive research. Here's your example. Now your friend across the street mentions this theory, alright? So, and that is that your iNet movie TV service, which everybody loves, goes down every night across the world simultaneously. You say, this is crazy. Let me test this, okay? So you want to test their theory, and so you set some parameters. You first, you know, one, that your friends, which live in different countries, also love to watch iNet Movie TV, and you start an internet video chat with all of your friends at the same time, you know, so it has to be simultaneously. So you're all watching the same service, watching it through 7 p.m. your time, and you're streaming also an internet video chat, so you can make sure this is happening simultaneously, right? Alright, so now 7 o'clock happens, and of course iNet Movie TV service goes down. You kind of, okay, here it goes, you know, iNet Movie TV goes down at 7 o'clock. And then so you go to check with your friends to see if their service goes down, but you find out that you're disconnected from the internet video chat. And you're like, man, okay, this is weird. You know, I've got, this went down, my internet video chat went down at the same time. Let me just call them and see what's going on. Alright, so you pick up the phone, you call your friends from different areas, and it goes to find out that they're still watching the TV service. It's streaming just fine. They're laughing at you because, you know, you don't have access to the TV service. So you say, okay, well, this theory does not hold up. This theory does not work. So what you have to do is you have to reject that theory, and then you might from there restart the research and say, okay, why is this happening? And then ask a different question, form a hypothesis, test that. All right, so this is happening inherently. You know, this is something that you do all the time. You just haven't documented it. You haven't written it down. All right, so let's expose you to deductive reasoning and break down this in its parts here. So with this example, you start off with a generalized theory. All right, so your generalized theory is that iNet Movie TV goes down every night across the world simultaneously. Alright, so you got your theory. You break down the theory into its parts to see if it holds true. Alright, so iNet Movie TV, one, everybody has to have iNet Movie TV. Does everybody have iNet Movie TV? Yeah. Okay, good. All right. Now, goes down across the world. Friends must be located in different regions across the world. Simultaneously, friends must be watching iNet Movie TV with you at the same time. Okay? So you've set your parameters. You've then tested the theory. That theory doesn't hold up. So you make some more observations, you do some more research, and presto, you have a conclusion. Wait, do you have a conclusion? You figured out what was going on here with this situation? Alright, so, what actually happened? Your friends live outside the area. Yes, they're watching iNet Movie TV. Yes, they're able to watch it without interruption. Let's look at some of the other parts of it. Your internet chat service goes down at the same time as your internet movie TV service goes down. What are some of the common factors here? You guessed it. Your friends outside the area have a different internet service provider. And obviously, it's a better one than you do. And therefore, they were able to watch the TV show just fine. This also explains why your internet video chat went down simultaneously. See, research is something that we all do inherently. It's something we do naturally. So, let's compare, again, inductive and deductive research. Make sure that you understand the breakdown of both of those. Alright, so inductive research, remember you're starting off with details and you're forming a pattern. Alright, so you're building on those details to make a pattern, and then that pattern, then you generate a hypothesis, and then you test that hypothesis to make a theory. Okay, so it's bottom up. You're building from your details to make a pattern, look at the pattern, test it, make a theory. Alright, so that's the general outlook for inductive. Deductive, you start with a theory. Alright, so you're starting with the theory and you're breaking it down into its testable parts and components. You then test the hypothesis to make a conclusion. And so it's theory, hypothesis, test, conclusion. Now, more than likely, I'm going to give you a few examples of research, and you will have to let me know if this is a form of inductive or deductive research. So make sure that you understand the components of both of these. If you need to, go back and watch the video. You can watch it as much as you like. Alright, well, if you have any other questions, let me know. I am Mr. Armand, and I'm signing out.